not allowing me to go live on LinkedIn. We're live, but it's not letting me go live on LinkedIn for whatever reason. Um, well, Katie Brinkley, welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm thrilled to have you here. Thrilled to have you here.
I'm excited to be here.
And I'm even more excited that you're going to be at Ignite in a month from today. We're going to be at Ignite. So it's going to be a lot of fun, totally a
I,
lot of fun.
I can't believe it's a month from today.
I know, right? I was thinking about that today. I was totally thinking about that. Well, I'm sitting here, I'm looking, why aren't we going live on LinkedIn? You know, technology is just going to be that way today. So we're not going to be, we'll take this over to LinkedIn on the other side. So, yeah, well, it's a month from today, and you are going to be bringing some great, great wisdom all around the topic of post less on social media and earn more business. And that topic fits right in with what we're going to be doing at Ignite. I mean, we're going to be really talking about reimagining what it looks like in our businesses, how we're creating more time prosperity and wealth prosperity in our businesses. And this is such a great way to be able to tune into how do we do business? How do we do business differently? And that's why I was so attracted to your talk. And I thought it was such a perfect fit for the mix at Ignite, because it's, we could spend a lot of time on social media.
Yeah, we can spend way too much time on social media. And it's funny, like I said, last time we spoke, Cami, I feel like I'm kind of marching to the beat of my own drum here because I have a social media agency and here I am telling everyone to get off of social media. But I think that if you go in strategically, you can have a lot of reach, a lot of um, community building, and you can bring in the right people. The right people are going to want to do business with you. The right people are going to want to follow you and subscribe to you and tell all their friends around about you.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's really a matter of getting smart in how we do social media.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly. Yeah.
And it's so interesting. So at Ignite, we'll talk about building smart business models, building smart marketing, building smart social media, and ways that we can really do, it creates more white space for ourselves because we're leveraging, we're building, we're doing things in a different way. And I think that's what's exciting about what's showing up in our future and how we can do business differently.
And I think that with doing business differently, you have to find there's a lot of different strategies out there.
Mm-hmm.
Finding the one that works for you in your business is so
Yeah.
important because not everyone has the same strategy. Not everyone wants to be on social media all day. But some people do.
Yeah.
Thank goodness for them. But I mean,
Yeah.
like, I'm not one of them. I'm not
Yeah.
one of them. But I mean,
Yeah.
there's a lot of different strategies out there, from social media to podcasting to email to business growth, and I think that you've put together an amazing lineup so far, Cami, and I can't wait to. I mean, one, I'm honored to be one of the people speaking, but two, I can't wait to come and learn from some of these other speakers that you've put together.
Yeah. Yeah. I've been teaching marketing from, like marketing from the inside out is what I call it. It's like we're looking at marketing through the lens of looking at how do we get excited? What do we love to do? And I
Mhm.
think this is what you're hitting on here, right? It's like if we're showing up in our marketing in a way that it's like, oh my God, I dread this. I don't want
Yeah.
to do this. The whole energy of that transfers right over, and it's not going to be client attracting at all.
Yeah.
And if we are in that space of, oh, this is fun.
Mhm.
I love doing this. I mean, it's like I love having these kind of conversations, right? It's fun. And that becomes client attracting
Mhm.
because we each have our own zone of genius of where we can show up in our best light.
Yeah.
And so finding that is so powerful.
Yeah, and that's just what you said right there. Finding your own power of genius. It's true. You when you find what works for you,
Mm-hmm.
it it feels so much better to go to
Yeah.
work.
Yeah. Yeah.
It really is enjoyable, and I think that as entrepreneurs, all of us decided to start our own business because we were passionate about something in particular. I mean, and for me, it was social media, but I mean, it I think I never would have had the courage to go ahead and do like become an entrepreneur if I
Mhm.
didn't just go on and be like, this is one of the things I'm most passionate about. How can I do this for my day-to-day job?
Right.
And when you love what you do, it makes being an entrepreneur, mean everything.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And so when we look at posting, and so you're a social media, you run a social media agency, and this is what makes your world go round.
Mhm.
And you've gotten really smart about, and I know this is what you're going to be bringing to Ignite, is you're going to be teaching people how to be smarter in their social media, so that they don't have to post 5 times a day. It's not like this continuous frenzy.
Yeah.
And the very first time I heard you speak, it was at Speakonomics last year when we were both speakers at that event in Denver. And I was like, yes. What you said, she says, I am a business owner first. I am not the social media. I mean, that's not my job. Isn't just posting on social media. I'm a business owner, and
Mhm.
the social media supports it.
Yes.
And that was so brilliant. And I was like, yes, that's exactly. It's like we have so many things that we can be doing with our days, and all day long on social media is not going to cut it.
Yeah, and I think that too, it's gotten really muddled with how much you should be on social media because it's like, oh, well, you're not getting leads, you're not social media is not working for you because you're not posting enough.
Yeah.
And like I said, like I have a social media agency, but I'm a business owner first.
Right.
Showing up on social media as a business owner is very different than showing up on social media as an influencer,
Yeah.
and there's an entirely different strategy. And when I see these kids these days, these 20-year-old kids saying, like, oh, well, I post online, da 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 all the time. So I'm like, well, that why are you the expert on it? Like it's this is a very different strategy, and if you have the time to create that many pieces of content, then you don't have a successful business
Yeah.
because your time should be spent building the business, not doing a whole bunch of reels and TikToks and carousel posts and everything. And if you think about like Gary Vee, one of the most successful and well-known content repurposers out there, he has an entire team that he probably spends, $200,000 a month on to create all these different pieces of content. And if you have that type of money and team, then sure, go ahead and post, 42 times a day. But majority of us don't have that team.
Yeah.
And um, you should, focus on building your business, not on what to post on social media.
Yeah. Yeah. So as we are thinking about what's some of the strategic ways we leverage social media in our business, this is a different strategy, you say. Give us a hint without going into all that you're going to teach at Ignite, but give us some hints into what are some strategies that we can really think about how we leverage social media in our business.
Well, without going into too many details, the biggest strategy I could give you right now is to pick one or two platforms to
Mm-hmm.
be on.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't until 2023 that I incorporated posting to my third platform. I up until this year, I was only really creating content for my business on Instagram and LinkedIn. 2023 came and I finally had the capacity to do a strategy for Facebook.
Yeah.
So pick two platforms and go all in on them. I know it's really easy just to toggle the little thing back and forth, or if you're using a scheduler, but you have to think there's different audiences and there's different ways of creating content for each of these platforms. What social media platform do you enjoy spending time on? And then kind of reverse engineer, okay, I enjoy being on Instagram. These are the reasons why. This is the type of content I enjoy engaging with and I could see myself creating.
Yeah.
I don't like, doing a whole bunch of trending audios and talking to the camera in short form video. So I'm not on TikTok.
Yeah.
So think about that when you're creating your content of which social media platforms should I be spending the time on.
Yeah, that's good. That's really good. And then I know the other side of that strategy is really getting into the content strategy around that. And I think this is something I'm often telling my clients is let's look at the content strategy of your overarching marketing
Yeah.
and know where you're, know what those topics are so that you can repurpose that content and you can bring that, you can bring content back into, your other channels that you're doing.
Yeah.
Our good friend, I think you're friends also with Brian Kramer.
Yeah.
One of the things I remember him teaching me years ago was, look at our strategy through the lens of typically 80% of the time we are creating new content and 20% of the time we are repurposing content. And what if we switch that around and 20% of the time we were creating new content and 80% of the time we were repurposing. So we were
Yeah.
finding ways to take that content strategy out in different ways. I know what you're going to be teaching at Ignite is around the four post strategy.
Yes.
Give us just a little glimpse of that.
So you can be very successful on social media, posting as little as 4 times a week. And it's by figuring out what social media platforms you should be on and then going through this whole 4 posts of diving into a topic and really making people aware of it, educating them, telling them how it worked for you, and then asking them to take action. And it really is repurposing, to the core of how can I talk about one topic 4 different ways. And so
Yeah.
that's what I go into and with my session is how you can talk about one thing 4 different ways, bring in the right people, build your community, and start posting less and get off of the hamster wheel a bit.
Yeah, yeah, and it's about really knowing our customers intimately, right?
Yeah.
Knowing what conversations, what stories they're having on a day-to-day basis so that we can meet them where they're at with what we teach.
Hmm. And I think that when you know who you're talking to, it makes creating content so much easier. So, are you looking at your insights? Because if you're not, you're you're really talking to no one.
Yeah.
So, if you haven't ever done that, I recommend do it right now, and it might even help you figure out, well, I shouldn't even be spending time over on Instagram because that's not my target audience that's following me there.
Yeah.
Or how can I recreate the way that I show up over on Instagram so that it resonates with the people that are following me because somehow I've attracted the wrong crowd. So for me on Instagram, I know that I think now it's up to 83% of my audience is female. Females ages 35 to 54. YouTube, it's mostly male. On LinkedIn, again, it's mostly male. So you'll see me still be talking about the same idea or the same topic, but the way that I've written the caption, the way that the graphic is done, the photo that I'll use, it's slightly shifted to resonate with that audience that I'm talking to on these different platforms.
Yeah. Yeah. I love it. I totally love it. The theme that I'm really working with around for Ignite is reimagine. And it's reimagining what our businesses can be, reimagining how we are connecting to our clients, reimagining how we're in our customer conversations. And conversations, social media is part of that conversation. So when you think about reimagining for 2024, what shows up for you when you think about reimagining how we do social media?
Well, 2023 was the year of AI.
Mm-hmm.
And computers and robots, man, they are more and more involved in our day-to-day lives than I think
Yeah,
any of us would have ever imagined a year
yeah,
ago.
yeah. I would have
So
never guessed a year ago that I would use AI.
yeah,
I would have said, no, it's not really part of my business.
same.
Yeah,
Yeah, me too.
yeah. And it's
And
definitely a part of my business today.
yeah, absolutely. It 100%. I mean, like I use it all the time to, rethink, brainstorm ideas, to rewrite an email. I mean, I use it all the time.
Yeah,
But this is where I think in 2023 we've embraced AI.
Mhm.
In 2024, how are we going to embrace the human side?
Yes.
Because that in a world of AI, in a world of, copy and paste, a computer wrote this, it got it out there. How can we show up as a human to help people resonate with us and our brands? I mean,
Yeah.
people are already starting to deep fake themselves or clone themselves. They're cloning their voices. How can, like, what we're doing right now, Cami, I think
Yeah.
is going to really, it's going to be huge for 2024 because there's no way a robot could
No. Can't
bumble
create these
and do what I'm doing right
connections.
now. Yeah. And so,
Yeah.
I mean, so I think this is the stuff we're going to have to really embrace. We're going to have to embrace the live video. We're going to have to embrace the human aspect in our businesses
Yeah.
because that's going to help move the needle. And no, I'm not saying to get rid of AI, use it as a tool,
Yeah.
but more than ever, we're going to have to find ways to
To
connect with
show
people
up.
online.
Yeah. To show up as ourselves, to be
Yeah,
ourselves, to build our brand from the inside out, to build our marketing from the inside out, and
exactly.
have real conversations with our communities.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and community can happen on social media. Like some of
Mhm.
my great, I mean, like Kimmy, I think you and I were connected for, months, maybe years before we met a year
Yeah.
ago, you
Yeah.
know, but at the same time, when I met you in real life, it was like, oh, here she is. Hey, it's nice to finally like shake your hand.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you can still build those communities on social media when you show up the right way, the right time, speak the right message, and you can build that community out and really build amazing connections and relationships.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I am so excited for Ignite.
Me too.
If you haven't gotten your ticket to Ignite, you can still get a ticket at camigelner.com/ignite. And it's a great place to be able to come together in community. It's a great place to come together to uplift your business for 2024. I mean, I've been looking through some of the stories of past Ignite attendees and just what breakthroughs have happened for people. And it makes me so happy to see where what a point in time can do for transformation in your business and in your life. It's really magical.
Yeah.
So would love to have you guys join us. It's camigelner.com/ignite. We are a month from today, so we kick off November 2nd in Golden, Colorado, and it's going to be a fantastic event. So come join us. We're going to have so many great speakers, including Miss Katie here.
Well, thank you again for having me. And yeah, hopefully we'll see you guys all at Ignite.
Yeah. Thanks so much. Have a good day. Happy Monday.